Gacha games are predatory. These games have always had a lot of tricks to try and get you to spend a little bit more money and a little bit more time than you'd like, sometimes ultimately resulting in some not so great things for some people. All you can really do as a consumer is to be aware of what they're trying, so I'll be helping you in just that. If you are a newer gacha game player coming in with the wave of high quality releases like Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero, you'd do best to prepare yourself not to fall victim to these traps. If you are a long-time player of these games, it's still always good to stay vigilant and not become too desensitized to all of these systems. And even if you don't spend a single penny in these games, you should know that your time is also something that they want, and that you aren't free from all of this. So I'll be hopping between several different games and showing you some of the deceptive practices that you should really be aware of. And let's start off by loading up everybody's favorite Genshin Impact. So when you do log into a game you play regularly, the first thing you probably want to get done is your dailies. It's really not hard to see the reasoning behind having daily missions to work towards. It rewards you for loading up the game every day, gets you actively using your time doing things within the game, and it basically makes you build up a habit of logging in. If you've ever had a moment where you forgot to do your dailies and begrudgingly loaded up a game despite wanting to do something else, maybe it's time to think about your priorities, because ultimately, what are you getting? A gacha pool's worth of currency? Not even that, maybe just maintaining a login streak. The point is, you aren't forced to log in every day if you play a game. As strange as it is to hear, some people really do build a very unhealthy mindset after some time. But it's not just daily missions though. There's more low commitment methods like daily sign-in rewards, and even easier thing to do. Just log in every day, right? But now that you're here, you might as well get some dailies done too. With the same general idea, let's head over to Nikkei and into the cash shop, not to buy anything, but rather just to claim these free daily gems. The point here is also quite simple. It just gets you into the shop regularly, again to build that habit. Sure, you might not spend right now, but you're getting just that bit closer since, you'll be in here every single day, and it lowers the barrier of entry to get you into being a paying player. Something else that Nikkei likes to pull out every so often is these limited time flash deals. Two things are very notable here, the first one being the extremely low price on this. Like, what can you really get with 99 cents in this day and age? Here you can get 2 pulls and 60 gems, 7 times the normal value. What a steal. Of course, after you make such a purchase, you've now relinquished the idea that you are a free-to-play player. In your mind, you've now spent, and that makes the idea of spending a little bit more not so bad. Also, it's generally easier to make subsequent purchases in most cases. Like, at this point, if I want to spend money on a game, all I have to do is go on my phone, click buy, scan my fingerprint, and the money's just gone in a couple seconds. It's actually absurd how easy they just make it to burn away your money. Moving back to this, the other part is the timer. It's a limited time deal. It's made to prey on the fact that people generally aren't good at making quick snap decisions. It's also the same idea of those scams that give you a big old timer and say they're going to leak your nudes or let loose a virus or whatever if you don't pay up. And if you do happen to realize that 2 hours is actually quite a long time to come to a decision, well, there is a little bit of fear of missing out, or FOMO, that also comes in here. What if this is a great deal? It's going away soon. I should get that, right? What if I regret not getting it once it's done? Well, you're a smart person. You wouldn't fall for these tricks, right? If you wanted to spend, you'd go for the better stuff, the actually good value stuff, right? Monthly passes, usually the things that give the biggest return on your money, with one main drawback. You pay with time, right? Well, yes, but it's a little bit more insidious than that. For these, note how the passes give these to you daily, and they don't carry over each day. You're basically locking yourself to that daily habit building system, because no one in their right mind would just spend money and purposely waste it, I think. Also, why exactly is this monthly pass considered more value? Well, it's only because we have another pricing point, another anchoring point in another $5 pack, which we think that this is more valuable. It's good practice not just to see how valuable things are in reference to the comparison points set by the game itself, but also by what exactly you're getting out of it. In this case, it's just under 19 pulls after spending a month of time and that $5. Or if you break it down even further, suppose a 5-star character is around 80 pulls, maybe a little bit less, right? But in that case, then you're getting just under maybe a quarter of progress towards a 5-star character. I won't state what my thoughts are on this number. You should use your own judgment to see if that is worth it for you. Now, you might have realized that these monthly passes actually give two types of currency. The main daily one is the premium currency for polls, Stellar Jade, and the other one is a paid currency, Honoric Shards. There's many reasons that games will try to separate their paid currencies from their normal ones. One of these scummier ones maybe being to implement paid-only banners that are generally just better and having higher rates or maybe some guarantee. Sometimes they'll just have things to acquire that are strictly meant to be paid for, like skins. But by having a layer of buying into their currency first before actually getting the item that you want, they can not only charge you just a little bit more with their odd pack sizes, but it also slightly detaches its value from being a certain price in real money. And if nothing else, it serves still as a way to obfuscate how many pulls you really have at any given time. You don't pull with your Honoric Shards, you convert your Honoric Shards into Stellar Jade. And you don't pull with your Stellar Jade, you convert your Stellar Jade into Warp Passes and then you use that on the banner. These extra steps are solely there just to make it a little bit more confusing. Also, the odd pack sizes for premium currencies is also there to make it just that little bit more difficult. I'm not saying it's particularly hard to figure out how many pulls your maybe 6 Warp Passes, 7,100 Stellar Jade and 600 Honoric Shards are, but it's still just enough that a lot of people won't bother taking the time to think. And if they're not thinking, they'll be more prone to spending a little bit more impulsively. And now the titular system, the Gacha. I think it's no surprise that the Gacha is just bad, right? Because it's literally just gambling. The currency goes in, something unknown comes out. It could be good, most likely not. I don't think I need to go on, right? Gambling addictions are real and probably the one thing that you should be looking out for. Roll with moderation. But these games, they just make it so enticing to keep rolling more. You have your characters marketed with these big trailers and trials to show off what they have and whatnot, and then even if you already have the character, they generally have some extra benefit to be rolled multiple times, so there's usually always some incentive to keep pulling. The system of rotating banners will incite that fear of missing out again, making you consider pushing for that character that won't be around for maybe a few more months, years, or maybe even ever after it's gone. The implementation of a pity system really pushes the idea that if you do decide to spend, you will be guaranteed that character at some point. The only question is when. That'll cement it in your brain as something that is wholly possible and something worth considering. And suppose you do decide to start on that spending spree, then there's that sunk cost fallacy that starts to kick in after a little while. You'll have to deal with, should you keep going now that you've already gone so far? Well, yes, because you've already put in so much money, right? Many people tend to just wonder how players are able to spend so much money on these games, not knowing how much these ideas will snowball within a mind of a person who can't really control themselves very well. Mechanics like these and many others around them are carefully crafted to take advantage of people who engage with them. Even past the gacha mechanic itself, other parts in these games or even outside of them sometimes are made to keep people wanting to spend and play more. In some cases you have the social proof from seeing all of your friends and people around you in social media getting that one character that you're still sort of undecided on, and it reaffirms in your mind that that could be you if you just put a little bit more money and rolled it yourself. The whole character progression system in certain games being locked down all behind stamina systems basically forces slower progression. If you want to become stronger, you again need to build up that daily habit of grinding. Otherwise, you're incentivized to spend on the battle pass or other means to get stamina to actually make meaningful progress that doesn't take weeks. And even after you're well into building a certain character, the absolutely absurd amounts of RNG and gearing can just make it take so exceedingly long to get a character up to standard if you're unlucky or if you're aiming for something that's just a little higher than what they expect of you. And then, after all of this, you have the same idea of sunk cost again. You have, quote, invested all of this time into this game now, these characters, maybe even spent a little bit of money. Wouldn't you be such a fool to throw that all away, to walk away now? You can see just from this short time we've been here, we've covered a lot of little things that honestly, you probably could have figured out yourself if you gave it a bit of thinking. But the problem is, people normally aren't actively looking out for these things, and as a result, a lot of these tactics are just brushed off as merely annoying or strange more than anything, right? There's probably even more insidious stuff I haven't mentioned here. Please feel free to tell me if you think there's any major points that you think I have missed and are worth bringing up. At the end of the day, let me tell you the number one way you can avoid all of this. You can completely cut your chances of ever becoming addicted to a gacha game if you just stop playing them. But of course that's a little extreme. These games are just too good, too fun, you'll probably keep playing regardless. So, If nothing else, take this video as a sign to be a little bit more aware of your thoughts, your actions, and your spending. Thank you. Have a nice day.